Right, now here we have eagles and hawks.
Oh, hey, Sam, hey, look babe, I can see myself in Sam. Sam's all into it.
Sam's all.
The grade 9 10 class we worked on in the Valhalla Wilderness Program. They have wonderful stories to draw from their own adventures, and they've all kept journals. We worked on description, strong verbs, and tightening sentence structure.
Okay. I'm near the peak. I'm almost there, but it feels so far. This long, exhausting hike up the mountain. My knees and back aching from the pack that drops over my shoulders, filled with all the items I need to survive. And on top of all that, my snowboard that I have to carry on my back. I reach the top with victory flowing through my body. I'm there, up in the mountains, up where only I can take myself, up where I feel free. The mountain takes me to another place, my own world, a place where only I can go. There's 2 to 4 feet of powder, blue sky, and the sun beaming down on me. It's the perfect time, the perfect place, the perfect world.
I've asked Jasmine to read a short section from a much longer piece, come on up Jasmine, in which she talks about the beauty of the mountains, but this little gem of a piece is right from the middle where they're already up on their trip.
I opened up the metal bear cache to find a small novel. Its pages were yellow and weathered. Looking at the cover, I could tell it was some version of Sleeping Beauty. I opened it up to a random page and began to read. It was so windy that I had to nestle myself within the branches of a thick tree. The wind howled as I leaned against the tree. The tree trunk smelled of wet, heavy pine. It was a very familiar smell, and for a moment I felt at home. The other 2 members of my group were munching on some chips. I began to read aloud. I noticed that I had captured their undivided attention with my juvenile story. Perhaps that classic fairy tale was familiar to them just as the smell of pine was to me. If I paused or attempted to put the book down and protested. I was busy reading the story as I looked up and saw every face in my class. They were peering through the branches, struggling to hear me read. They sought comfort in my reading, a distraction from the cold.
That piece just brought home to me how much the kids and young people in that class have grown to care and love for each other. Extra, extra, read all about it in the Spokane Powder.
The fastest bow on the market is the PSEX 4 Stream Season, but my favorite bow is the Diamond by Marquis, the Diamond Marquis by Bowtech, because it is a nice light bow, and I shoot the diamond edge that I got from Peanut Archeries. I had a chance to sit down with Kenley Leslie, the master of bows. He knows everything about bows. He also runs Peanut Archery and Sports. Well, we talked about his business and what he sells. If you are a beginner wanting to get into bow shooting, he is able to give you a good deal on a bow.
As you look through the newspaper, you'll see that there's a front page story of the Spokane Powder about grandma interviews.
Crystal is a young woman who works in the Spokane Valley as a veterinarian and lives in a mansion on the mountain west of the Spokane River. She walked in the woods beside the Alvarado grocery store in Spokane after breakfast and ran into John the Bear Man. John is a hunter who lives in a cabin in Lemon Creek. A forest fire started when John the Beer Man thought Crystal was an antelope and shot at the ground. She jumped and dodged it. No!
Do you yell as you saw her head burning?
He Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
She saw a tug of flame slip into the shed where her friends stored gasoline and dynamite for blowing up stuff on their property. Steven's throat would dry with fear. At that house, the fire truck rocked up the road because someone in Spokane had called them and said, "Fire at Tiva's house, west of the river." And the firefighter said, "I'm a firefighter. I'm a firefighter. I'm a firefighter." The moment it arrived, the tug of flame hit the gasoline and they heard the hissing and said, "Kaboom!"
Project, Carmen wrote 17 pages of completely new material. It was so impressive, Carmen. Teachers, the staff, the school systems, the parents, and the community have been